That wasn't me. That was from down the stairs.
Phantoms, fear and terror await the team as we return to Derbyshire. I'm Yvette Fielding, and this week I've brought you to Derbyshire and a very scary place indeed. Welcome to Most Haunted and the Matlock Baths Pavillion. The building was erected in the late 1800s, reputedly by German labourers, on the site of the old stable block of the now demolished Fish Pond Hotel. It was built to exploit Matlock Bath's growing reputation as a spa and resort centre, and as well as housing 2 large ballrooms used for tea dances, it also held the pump room to which day trippers flocked to take the waters. Since its heyday, it has seen many uses, including a billet for soldiers during the war and a roller skating rink. Today, it houses a mining museum on the ground floor and a popular nightclub in the upper stories. However, it aroused our interest due to its reputation for strange occurrences and supposed ghostly sightings. Amongst other phenomena are reports of huge temperature fluctuations, the sound of footsteps made by unseen feet, poltergeist activity, and strange accounts of alarming spectral figures. Now, with ghosts apparently in abundance and a phantom round every corner, you would have to be very brave or very mad to want to stay here alone and in the dark. Well, last night, Jeff and I did just that, and this is what happened. We've just sort of been walking around the main areas, and it's all very, very quiet. Quite a few creaky floorboards in the hall area, but we're about to just spend a little bit of time on the stairs. Something about these stairs that are so eerie. No. Is there anybody here with us now on this staircase? Can we hear your footsteps? Please make a noise.
Yeah.
Please tap again if you can hear us.
That's underneath my foot.
Can you make that louder, please? Please knock. There's definitely something going on with these stairs. What's that? Oh, it's a pond there. You must have bumped into it. There. Here, Jeff.
This one?
Yeah.
No, no
You
way.
didn't?
No way.
Are you sure?
Absolutely positive.
This is the main corridor to the nightclub, and a very scary place to be. It's not just the heavy-booted footsteps that echo through the hallway, nor the unexplained cold spots which suddenly manifest that scares people the most. It's the ghostly figures of 6 children and an adult surrounded by mist that fills many with fear. One staff member who witnessed this terrifying apparition was so affected by it that he had to take a considerable time off sick.
I visited the mining museum, and although there didn't seem to be any residential spirits here, I was straight away connected with the spirit that had died in a tragedy in the 1720s when a lead mine had collapsed. And the most interesting thing about it was 4 men came, made their presence felt, but also a young boy, and it felt very poignant that a young child would die in a mine.
The main nightclub area has seen many strange things in its time. A poltergeist has been active here since the 1960s, opening doors, unbolting cupboards and throwing objects across the floor. Dark figures have been seen with stark regularity, one being that of an old lady and the other a tall man. Both are said to roam the whole building, but prefer to be seen here. As this place was originally built for tea dancers, it's not surprising that at least one of its former visitors thinks it still is. She's called Beth, and her ghostly image has been seen walking around on many different occasions. She also likes to make herself known by turning off pieces of equipment, but she's not the only phantom to wander this area. As you can see, this is now a successful mining museum, and it's these artifacts that form the basis of our next haunting. A large, dark figure of a man, dressed in miner's working clothes, has been seen following visitors and lurking in the corners. Some believe that he wants his tools back and will keep haunting until he gets them.
Given the experiences of myself and Jeff on the previous night and the stories connected with the pavilion, I wondered how Dr. Kieran O'Keefe would approach the coming investigation.
Well, Kieran, here we are in the Derbyshire countryside. It's a beautiful place and a very, for me, unusual location. In fact, two locations almost, because we've got this sort of mining museum here, and then we have a nightclub. But it's all the same building because, of course, it used to be tea rooms for dancing. People used to come along and do that. So I suppose it's a completely different feel to the same location.
It is. It's a great place to investigate for that reason, because it's two dynamically different places. We've got, I guess, consistencies perhaps between the hauntings of the two places. But for me, it's a little bit of a psychological nightmare to deal with. When the investigative team come into the Miners' Museum, there's an expectancy, there's a suggestion effect already there, and the same thing, I think, with the nightclub. But different sort of things to consider there.
Out of all the areas in both this Miners' Museum and also in the nightclub part, which is the most fascinating for you, and what areas do you want to concentrate on?
I'd like to concentrate in the nightclub, in the upstairs corridor next to the VIP area, where there's been cold spots reported and also the footsteps. I'm particularly concerned about whether we're actually getting footsteps in that particular corridor. It's a case where we might be getting machinery, we might be getting some other noise, but then people automatically misinterpret it as footsteps. They try and give it some sort of identity.
Well, they've actually sort of reported on the fact that it sounds like shoes on concrete walking along. Now, that whole area is carpeted, so that's quite unusual.
That is quite unusual, but again, I'm going to be on the lookout for perhaps some sort of acoustic anomaly in that particular area. So, for example, if somebody is walking in a different area of the nightclub, can you hear it right next to you, for example? Or is there any heating or electrical items that we need to watch out that might be clicking and giving the appearance or giving that kind of false sound of footsteps?
So you're looking forward to tonight?
I am looking forward to tonight, yes. It's a lot of psychology, a lot of perhaps visual hallucination explanations for what's going on, but still, I'm looking forward to it.
The moment had come for David Wells to take his customary first look at the location and impart his thoughts to us. What would he uncover?
I can hear children giggling and laughing. It's the first thing I can hear. The most dominant one in here is male. There's a foot stamping male, but there seems to be a bit of abuse. So it seems to be, she's quiet because of trauma.
David, Kieran and I began the initial exploration of the pavilion upstairs in what is now the nightclub area above the mining museum.
OK, David.
Unusual one.
It is a very unusual one. We've done a nightclub before. Actually, we've done a couple of nightclubs, haven't we, really? But this one, has two different locations to it. This
Right.
bit and then there's another bit. So let's just keep going straight on. Are you picking anything up along this corridor?
The immediate thing is there is quite a lot of noise. There's a lot of, you know, noise in the old ear holes. I mean, and I'm talking, you know, astral stuff.